Hello. So I started this channel a long time ago, maybe about a year, and haven't put anything on it. And I swore that I would put my favorite things on it, like paralegal stuff and poetry and pigs. Do all my favorite things start with P? Pizza? Maybe so. Anyway, so I've finally decided to do a little recording with some poetry, and I've decided not to do mine, but to do some of my favorites. First up, we have If by Rudyard Kipling. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired of waiting, nor lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise, if you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, stoop and build them up with worn-out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss and lose and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and what is more, you'll be a man, my son. I actually gave that poem framed to my godson when he was growing up. I think we're a little crooked there. Next, we have The Fool's Prayer by Edward Rowland Sill. The royal feast was done, the king sought some new sport to banish care, and to his jester cried, Sir Fool, kneel down for us and make us a prayer. The jester doffed his cap and bells and stood the mocking court before. They could not see the bitter smile beneath the painted grin he wore. He bowed his head and bent his knee upon the monarch's silken stool. His pleading voice arose, O Lord, be merciful to me, a fool. No pity, Lord, could change the heart from red with wrong to white as wool. The rod must heal the sin, but Lord, be merciful to me, a fool. 'Tis not by guilt the onward sweep of truth and right, O Lord, we stay. 'Tis by our follies that so long we hold the earth from heaven away. These clumsy feet, still in the mire, go crushing blossoms without end. These hard, well-meaning hands we thrust among the heartstrings of a friend. The ill-timed truth we might have kept, who knows how sharp it pierced and stung. The words we had not sense to say, who knows how grandly they had rung. Our faults no tenderness should ask, the chastening stripes must cleanse them all. But for our blunders, oh, in shame, before the eyes of heaven we fall. Earth bears no balsam for mistakes. Men crown the knave and scourge the tool that did his will, but thou, O Lord, be merciful to me, a fool. The room was hushed, in silence rose the king and sought his garden's cool, and walked apart and murmured low, be merciful to me, a fool. And finally, we have Love's Philosophy by Percy Shelley, which might be my favorite poem of all time. The fountains mingle with the river, and the rivers with the ocean. The winds of heaven mix forever with a sweet emotion. Nothing in the world is single, all things by a law divine. In one spirit meet and mingle, why not I with thine? See the mountains kiss high heaven, and the waves clasp one another. No sister flower would be forgiven if it disdained its brother. And the sunlight clasps the earth, and the moonbeams kiss the sea. What is all this sweet work worth, if thou kiss not me? I discovered all three of those poems in an old English book that my dad had had for years. I still have it. It smells like mildew from being, waterlogged in our house from a leak, and it's just in terrible condition, but I can't bear to give it up. One, because it was my dad's, and two, because I found some of my most favorite poems in it. And I can honestly say that I never learned any of those poems in any English class since. So if it not for that book of my dad's, I would have never discovered them. And I will do one small little one of mine. It's called Poetry. Poetry. Just thoughts that wander aimlessly through my head, only to be captured now and then on faded paper by a worn out pen instead of being said. Period. That is my most published poem. It's been published 5 or 6 places now, I think. Thank you. Till next time.